Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagat
Jagate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Nishtate Tapatancham Gautangi Radhe Vishnushwari Vishnu Sute Devi Parmamni Hari Priye Hare Krishna.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi
Gopravani Pracharini
Nirvise
Nirvisha Punyavati
Deshatari Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare.
So, welcome everyone. We continue our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, text 42. So, Yakshadhaya Shruvatya cha bhaktya samrajyamane hridaye bhavadhyaya jnanena vairagya balena dhira rajema tatte angari saroja pitham. So the demigods were praying to the Lord. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge, and on the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The miracles of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord with eagerness and devotion are so great that no other process can compare to it. The minds of materialistic persons are so disturbed that it is almost impossible for them to search after the supreme truth by personal regulative endeavors. But even such materialistic men with a little eagerness for hearing about the transcendental name, fame, qualities, etc., can surpass all other methods of attaining knowledge and detachment. So there are various methods to attain knowledge and detachment. There is like the empirical philosophical process, Gyan process, or there's a yoga process to control the mind and senses. But which is the fastest and the sure short way to get the knowledge and detachment is just by focusing our mind on the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, by hearing about his transcendental name, fame, qualities, etc. So Krishna's name is not like our name. Our name, when we say, for example, Coca-Cola, we are not drinking Coca-Cola. We are not able to taste the Coca-Cola. Or if we are saying the name of a particular person, we are just saying the name of that person. We are not associating with that person. But Krishna, because he's the absolute truth, he's on the absolute platform. So there is no difference between his name and himself, his fame and himself, his pastimes, his Leela and himself. They're all the same. They're all Krishna. And our conditioned state right now, we are not able to realize it. But the more we hear and chant about his names and glories, the more our consciousness will be purified. Then, just by chanting the name, we will be able to see Krishna. So the conditioned soul is attached to the bodily conception of the self, and therefore he's in ignorance. So what's our ignorance? Is that we think we are the body. That's our ignorance. Culture of self-knowledge can bring about detachment from material affection, and without detachment, there is no meaning to knowledge. So when we are trying to understand Krishna, we are also getting knowledge of our own self. And then what does that happen? That automatically gives us Gyan and Vairagya. We are getting this knowledge that who am I? What's my relationship with God, with the absolute truth? And then with that knowledge automatically comes Vairagya, the detachment. There is no need to separately, when we are doing bhakti, when we are hearing and chanting about Krishna, there is no need to separately endeavor to gain knowledge or to gain to become detached. It's just the automatic process. The conditioned soul is attached. No, sorry, we read that. The most stubborn attachment for material enjoyment is sex life. One who is attached to sex life is to be understood as devoid of knowledge. Knowledge must be followed by detachment. That is the way of self-realization. These two essentials for self-realization, knowledge and detachment, become manifest very quickly if one performs devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The word dhira is very significant in this connection. A person who is not disturbed even in the presence of cause of disturbance is called dhira. So many times we say, oh, I can control myself, but only if this situation was different, then I can control myself. But who's a dhira? A dhira is a person that even if the circumstances are such that a person can get disturbed, in that circumstances, a person is not disturbed. That is called dhira. Sri Ramanujacharya says, since my heart has been overwhelmed by the devotional service of Lord Krishna, I cannot even think of sex life. And if thoughts of sex come upon me, I at once feel disgust. A devotee of the Lord becomes an elevated dhira by the simple process of meditating in eagerness on the lotus feet of the Lord. So when we are fixing our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, what we will get automatically, knowledge and detachment. Devotional service entails being initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and following his instruction in regard to hearing about the Lord. Such a bona fide spiritual master is accepted by regularly hearing from him about the Lord. Now, so what does initiation mean? Who is a bona fide spiritual master? A bona fide spiritual master is one who is always speaking about the Lord. And the first item of devotional service is we should get initiation from such a spiritual master and engage in devotional service under his guidance, which begins by hearing. The improvement in knowledge and detachment can be perceived by devotees as an actual experience. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strongly recommended this process of hearing from a bona fide devotee, and by following this process, one can achieve the highest result, conquering all other methods. So this is the easiest way Lord Chaitanya came to recommend us. Hear from a pure devotee of the Lord, from a bona fide devotee of the Lord. Automatically we will get knowledge of self-realization, of God realization, which will lead automatically to detachment from everything material. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Reading.
They are stressing on the devotional service. That devotional service, then everything will automatically follow, right?
Yes.
The detachment and
Yeah.
knowledge will follow, because we don't need to separately
Yeah.
try for gaining knowledge. That I want knowledge, I want to leave everything, renunciate. But when we start the devotional service, then it will automatically be there.
That's right. Because with bhakti, there's always two byproducts, Gyan and Vairagya, automatically. It comes. We don't need to. So there is a Bhagavatam says 1.2.7, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Jnanati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So just by rendering bhakti to Sri Krishna, one will immediately get Gyan and Vairagya, knowledge and detachment. We don't need to separately endeavor to gain knowledge. We don't need to separately endeavor to become detached. They automatically follow. Bhakti is followed by Gyan and Vairagya. And if it doesn't follow by Gyan and Vairagya, means there's something wrong. Then we should try to understand, what am I doing wrong?
Knowledge means here, like what kind of knowledge? Like, is it the knowledge of the Vedas, that this should be done, the do's and the don'ts, or like what is the knowledge?
So what is the essence of all the Vedas?
Okay.
What is the essence? Essence of all the Vedas is Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. That the supreme absolute truth is Sri Krishna, and that we are his eternal parts and parcels, and that we have an eternal relationship with him, and that we should engage in that relationship. We should act in that relationship. That's the essence of all the Vedas. So when we are engaging in bhakti, we are already doing this. You know, when we start hearing and chanting about Krishna, means our process of coming closer to Krishna, of being situated in that relationship is already started. You know, so that's the reason a person who's doing bhakti means he's understood all the Vedas. He's understood all the essence of all the Vedas. Doesn't need to separately understand. Of course, we have to follow like what are the do's and don'ts. For example, don't engage in illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication, you know, and then do everything that is going to help us to remember Krishna. Don't do anything that will help us to forget Krishna.
Okay.
And why we are chanting? Because we know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yes.
So that's why we are doing that.
Yes. Yes. So already that knowledge is there.
There, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not because we love Krishna? Like because we want to establish an attachment with him? Yeah, definitely knowing that he's the Supreme Lord is very, very important. But like, we are chanting because we want to establish a relation with him and we love him.
So we want to establish a relationship with him and we want to love him, but we have forgotten that love. We have forgotten him. So we are trying to establish that. Yes, by chanting, that's where we will, that's what is our goal, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to revive that love. We have to again remember him. It's like an amnesia, you know. A person bumps his head and they get amnesia, they forget it. So then
Right.
we're reminded, this is your father, this is your mother, this is what you used to do, this is what you used to like, this is what you not used to like.
Yeah.
So then, same, by chanting, we are being reminded of Krishna, like that we are getting to know him again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And yesterday, a very nice question was asked. Very nice question, that what is Krishna's mood? What is the essence? Why is all this Leelas happening? What do we have to learn from this? By all this, Krishna is saying, I love you. I love each one of you. Come back soon to me. Don't suffer here in the material world. That's what he's trying to say. And that's the reason he's the Paramatma in each and everyone's heart. No matter which body we take, he still continues to be with us as a Paramatma inside. You know, he never leaves us alone. He loves us so much. So we just have to re-establish our love for him. It's like they say, the devotees say, it's like a one-sided love affair right now. Oh, it's one-sided love affair. That Krishna is keeping on saying, I love you, I love you. We are saying, no, okay, let me first do this. Let me first do this, then I'll come back. Or some of us say, oh, you don't even exist, you know, who are you? Go away from here. But then he continues, his love is so unconditional, no matter what we tell him. You don't exist, you don't have a form, you are bad, or we want to try to get to know him. Whatever is our position, his love is unconditional, never changes for us. And we have that unconditional love for him. We have it. It's just now it's gotten covered. We just have to uncover it. Yes. And so when we go back, he's waiting for us to go back to Golok Vrindavan. And then in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, for example, when Gop Kumar, when he goes back, when he reaches, then Krishna is so happy to see Gop Kumar and he tells him, I love you so much. I was waiting for you for so long. You didn't come. I was waiting. And in so much love, Krishna himself becomes unconscious because he loves each and every one of us so much. You know, so we just have to, hear and chant more and revive our loving relationship with Krishna.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
reading on, text 43. Vishvasya janma sthiti samyamarthe krita avatarasya padam bhujamte vrajema sarve sharanam yadisha smritam prayachati abhayam swapumsam. O Lord, you assume incarnations for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation, and therefore we all take shelter of your lotus feet because they always award remembrance and courage to your devotees. So first the demigods say, by taking shelter of your lotus feet, automatically we will get knowledge and renunciation. Now they are saying, the demigods are saying, we take shelter of your lotus feet. Why? Because the more we always remember you, what happens? What happens is, when we take shelter of your lotus feet, we can always remember you and it gives courage to us. Fear goes away. We become fearless for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestations. There are three incarnations: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, Lord Shiva. They are the controllers or masters of the three modes of material nature which cause the phenomenal manifestation. Vishnu is the master of the mode of goodness. Brahma is the master of the mode of passion. And Maheshwar is the master of the mode of ignorance. There are different kinds of devotees according to the modes of nature. Persons in the mode of goodness worship Lord Vishnu. Those in the mode of passion worship Lord Brahma. And those in the mode of ignorance worship Lord Shiva. All three of these deities are incarnations of the Supreme Lord Krishna, because he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna, he's the origin. Everything and everyone comes from Krishna, either as his direct incarnations, expansions, separated parts and parcels, his energy, but everything is related to Krishna. Everyone is related to Krishna. So he's taking on these three different forms, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, so that this universal affairs can be managed in an orderly manner. And Krishna knows that each of us have different desires. Each of us have different consciousness. Some of us have desires in the mode of ignorance, some in passion, and some in goodness. And so that's the reason he's very kind. He's very loving. He knows each of our levels are different, but he wants to gradually raise us. And so he says, okay, you begin from whatever level you are in, and you gradually raise yourself. That's the reason he has these three personalities. So the demigods directly refer to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and not to the different incarnations. The incarnation of Vishnu in the material world is, however, directly worshipped by the demigods. It is learned from various scriptures that the demigods approach Lord Vishnu in the ocean of milk and submit their grievances whenever there is some difficulty in the administration of universal affairs. Although they are incarnations of the Lord, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva worship Lord Vishnu, and thus they are also counted amongst the demigods and not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whenever, because there is a Shirodakshai Vishnu in the Shvetadvip planet of each universe, Lord Vishnu is there too. He's in charge of maintaining. So whenever there is some disturbance, the demigods are not able to handle it. You know, like for example, the managers are not able to handle the situation in a company, then they'll go to the CEO, they'll say, oh, okay, let's have a meeting now. Now this is the issue, what shall we do? So similarly, when the issue in the universal management becomes beyond the capability of the demigods, then they go to Lord Vishnu to ask for his guidance. So persons who worship Lord Vishnu are called demigods, and persons who do not do so are called asuras or demons. Vishnu always takes the part of the demigods, but Brahma and Shiva sometimes take the side of the demons. It is not that they become one in interest with them, but sometimes they do something in order to gain control over the demons. So we have some examples where Brahma and Shiva, they give boons to the demons, and then it creates a havoc, and then Krishna tells them, why do you all give such boons? Then every time I have to come, you know. Does anybody remember any instance like that?
I think the Banasur, right?
I'm sorry.
Asur. Banasur Asur, the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lord
was
Shiva.
the boon was given, right?
Yeah.
By Lord Shiva.
Yeah, that's right. And for Lord Brahma is Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah. So
Bobby, 3 modes के बताए? Ignorance, patience. Can you explain, please?
ignorance, passion, and goodness.
Goodness.
Yeah, there are 3 modes of material nature.
Achha.
Sattvagun, Rajogun, and तमोगुण.
हाँ.
ये 3 गुण हैं ये material nature में. There are these 3 gunas in this material nature. And then Krishna, how he has made, who is in charge of the tamogun is Lord Vishnu. Is Lord Shiva. He's put Lord Shiva in charge of ignorance. And then he's put Lord Brahma in charge of mode of passion. And Lord Vishnu in the charge of mode of goodness. So we hear in Bhagavad Gita how the different modes of goodness are, what are the activities in the different modes of goodness, modes of passion, in the modes of nature. You know? So Brahma, he's in the mode of passion, but that's how he can create. Mode of passion is always with activity. That's how he's able to create this entire universe. And he's put Lord Shiva in the mode of ignorance because Lord Shiva is in the charge of destroying this universe. When the destruction happens, Lord Shiva is going to do his standard nritya, his dance, and the whole universe will be destroyed. And Lord Vishnu, he is above the mode of goodness actually. He is in Shuddha Sattva. The material mode of goodness cannot touch Lord Vishnu. And he's in Shuddha Sattva and he's in charge of maintaining the universe.
One who's a great devotee, so he can overcome from these 3 modes.
So yes, when somebody is doing pure devotional service, then a person rises above these modes. And then there are certain qualities of what is pure devotional service. The idea is, yes, we have to rise above the modes. And so to rise above the modes, the only way is to engage in pure devotional service. And then what is pure devotional service? Anya bilasita shunyam jnana karmadi anavitam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttamam. Devotional service which is uninterrupted, which is performed under the guidance of the previous acharya, which is favorably performed. It is favorable to Krishna. It is done in the mode of pleasing Krishna, and which is uninterrupted. It's never interrupted. A person at that stage, his only desire is to please Krishna as is taught by the acharyas in a favorable manner. That is pure devotional service, and that is beyond the modes of nature. And that's the reason they say that pure devotional service begins from the liberated platform, because once you're away from the modes of nature means you're liberated. You don't belong to the material world.
Recently I had experience कि like in satsang I heard इश्क की जो चोट जिसको लगी अगर उसको बासे संसार तो उसको जानो झूठा कपटी मकार. For us, for devotee, everything is Krishna, or still material things are attracting us. So still our like devotional service is not so strong, though we say Krishna, 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 but still like material things are attracting in many way. Even comparison, yesterday I told you, जैसे like a person is right, जैसे in our building, जैसे बोलते हैं कि most often mother बीमार होती थी और son like separate होता था, तो बोलते my son is like a साईं बाबा, इतना अच्छा है, सबके लिए अच्छा करता है, पर बोलते जब भी मेरे को बीमारी होती है तो वो डॉग को पहले लेके जाएगा हॉस्पिटल में, मेरे को बोलेगा मम्मी शाम को आता हूँ. He is nice, but our expectation कि अरे मेरे से ज्यादा उसको वैल्यू, लाइक मेरे से तो लाइक सफरिंग आ जाती विदाउट एनी लाइक कोई रीजन भी नहीं है. तो ये छोटी छोटी बातें, या कभी जैसे गृहस्थ में फैमिली में अगर देखते हैं कि यानी अच्छा चलता है, हस्बैंड अच्छा चलता है, बोलते हैं अरे तेरे से ज्यादा बहन को बहुत पूछता है, माँ को पूछा, तो वो बोगटो शुरू होता है. तो लगता है ये चीजें हावी क्यों कर जाती कि हमारा डिवोशनल सर्विस आर नॉट सो स्ट्रॉन्ग. तो हाउ टू डेवलप दैट यानी स्ट्रॉन्ग, यानी लाइक जो हमको बात नहीं, छोटी छोटी स्मॉल थिंग, आइदर मटेरियल थिंग्स और ये जो कि सेंसलेस है, all these. Yeah.
So we have to understand that all these dirty things in the heart are sins a very long time in our heart. Envy, lust, greed, anger, expectation, pride, arrogance. They are there since very long time, and they are very, very deep in the heart.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are two ways. One way is we just, when there are weeds in the garden, when there
Yeah.
are weeds, so there are people, they'll just cut the weed. When you cut the weed, what will happen? After some time, the weed will grow again.
Very true.
So that is like trying to control ourselves artificially. Nahi, okay, to mere ko kharab laga, but still I need to pacify my mind, and nahi, uska bhi kuch hoega. Let me try to somehow the other with some word jugglery, or try to just pacify my mind. It's okay. Let me not get expectation. Let me not get angry. Let me not feel bad. It's okay. He must be having his own issues. Or let me try to see some good in that situation. That is just like cutting the weed. Yeah. But what is the way that we can remove this weed from the heart once for all? It's only take the shelter of Krishna. Krishna, I have this expectation. Can you please remove it from my heart? It's troubling me so much. It's really painful for me. Please help me to take it away. And Krishna, from within the heart, the more we chant, that's the reason, Hare Krishna mantra, the more we chant, what happens is these dirty things from the heart becomes clean. They get cleaned up. They get removed. The seeds which are there, they get burnt. And burnt up seeds will never become, they will never sprout.
Yeah, most often I have seen, अगर किसकी भी engagement होती है ना, कितना ये like उसको सब भूल जाता है, खाना पीना everything ये like पूरा disappear हो जाता है उनके लिए संसार, एक ही ultimate. तो ऐसा ये हो सकता है कि Lord Krishna ऐसे हो जो बाकी चीजें like not valuable, ऐसे हो कि focus point, focus point.
So we have
कि एक चीज.
We have to come to that point.
Yeah.
Then how to come to that point? We cannot artificially come to that point. Why? Because
No.
many desires in our heart. So we have
Right.
that's the goal. We have to come to that one-pointed devotion to Krishna.
Very true.
The greed, the lolium for Krishna, the eagerness to be with Krishna and no one else. We have to.
Yeah.
At our stage, how do we reach there? Right now, we have so many material desires in our heart. So we have to take deep shelter of the holy name. Take deep shelter. Chanting. Name. We should have that prayerful mood. My dear Rani, my dear Krishna, please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Please engage me in your service. Please accept me. Try to hear. We are chanting, we should try to hear in that prayerful mood that I want to be with you. I miss you. I love you. I feel separation from you. That's what it is. Take deep shelter of the holy name.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Thank you, Bhabi.
Okay, thank you.
Continue.
So we'll stop here for today for Bhagavatam. Yeah. So Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Prabhupada, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.